Shalom, shalom. Welcome to Supporting Yah's Cornerstone. My name is Heshra'ah, and that name means moved by Yah. In today's video, I'm going to talk about patience and people. It's an extension of the talk I gave, the video I did last week concerning patience. I thought it might be better to break it down into sections that might be more helpful to you. So the video patience that I did last week, you can find that here on this channel, and that would be like an introduction, an overall introduction, and would be good to watch. But I was hoping that breaking it down would also be a little bit more helpful. So in this one, I'm going to talk about patience and people. I think the most important thing to remember is that Yah allows almost anyone and everyone a chance to live according to the law and live according to the Hebrew Israelite lifestyle. I think that's an important thing to remember, that the Creator believes in second chances. He believes in allowing people the opportunity to change. And so when we go to Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 11 and 12, it says, "Say unto them, as I live, saith Yah, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but that the wicked turn from his way and live. Turn ye from your evil ways, for why will ye die, O house of Israel? Therefore, thou son of man, say unto the children of thy people, the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. As for the wickedness of the wicked, he shall not fall thereby in the day that he turneth from his wickedness. Neither shall the righteous be able to live for his righteousness in the day that he sinneth." And in that same chapter, verses 14 through 18, it says, "Again, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, if he turn from his sin and do that which is lawful and right, if the wicked restore the pledge, give again that he had robbed, walk in the statutes of life, without committing iniquity, he shall surely live, he shall not die. None of his sins that he hath committed shall be mentioned unto him. He hath done that which is lawful and right, he shall surely live. Yet the children of thy people say, the way of Yah is not equal, but as for them, their way is not equal. When the righteous turneth from his righteousness and committed iniquity, he shall even die thereby." And so the main point I wanted to bring out in reading that is that Yah believes in offering people the opportunity to change from living wrong to living correctly and right and righteously. So that's important to remember. Another point to remember is that we have to learn to find what Yah finds acceptable, to that we find that acceptable. And sometimes that can be a process, because now you're dealing with thinking, which basically, if you look at Ezekiel, that chapter we just read from, it says at the bottom that, "Yet the children of thy people say, the way of Yah is not equal." In other words, how Yah think is not right. We were telling the Creator that's wrong. But the Creator corrected us in saying that, no, it's your thinking that's wrong. I think the correct way. You got to come around to my type of thinking. And yeah, that is important to remember. And that's something that I had to work on myself through the years, because our thoughts are definitely not Yah thoughts, especially when we first come in. We have thinking of right and wrong according to whatever cultures we've come from, whatever religions we practice, whatever other gods we worshiped, according to that standard. So it's just so important to remember what's acceptable to Yah has to be acceptable to me. Okay, that's important. So if Yah says he's offering that people that have been living wrong, or that they have a right to a second chance and a right to change, that's acceptable to him, then that has to become acceptable to us. And he doesn't put a stipulation on that as far as what they've done in the past. We know that he forgave King David for committing conspiracy to murder or murder and committing adultery. And even in today's time, that will be looked down on as far as the conspiracy to commit a murder. And then it actually was seen through. The man actually was killed. Now, the adultery part in these days would not be looked down too much, because in this society, in Western society, nobody really cares exactly in the overall. But at that time, for sure, Yah forgave King David for both of those things. And those were some major things. But Yah forgave him and they were able to move forward. Now, he was punished. I will say that. That's important to remember. Because Yah will forgive you sometimes, but he will punish you before you can kind of move forward. But anyway, the main point in that is that Yah believes in repentance and second chances. And so that's something important for us to remember. Another thing, it takes time and a process for people to change behavior and character flaws. And it just absolutely does. Some things people are able to change quicker than others because some behavior and character flaws are so deeply embedded, and for everybody, the troubled parts is not going to be the same. So it's not something you can compare, because you may say in your mind, well, sister so-and-so was able to get over her anger issues fast. Why can't you? So you can't compare it like that. What takes somebody 6 months to deal with may take this person 1 month, but at the same time, one thing that might have took this person 1 month, another character flaw may take them 6 months or a year or 2 years to complete perfection in that. And so it's important to know that. And so definitely changing unrighteous character flaws and behavior takes time. And so, you really have to be patient through that process with people. They didn't develop that character flaw overnight, and it will not change overnight most of the time. So that's something important to remember. What I found in my experience with the Creator since 1998 is that Yah seems to deal with behavior and character flaws 1 or 2 at a time, and kind of let you get some leeway, make you aware of it, and kind of let you get some leeway in it. From my own personal experience, from what it has been. And it's like a process, it seems. For example, if a person is lazy, you will find that the Creator situations will occur that they will either work or that situation will get worse. And it'll go back and forth like that for a while, depending on how they perform, Of course, the more they begin to not be lazy as situations come up where they can be, then of course the situations will start to kind of decrease. But it's like the Creator puts you in situations to pull whatever it is out of you, so you can remember and perform the new mindset, or you fall back to the old mindset. And when people do that, it just makes the process longer, is what I have found. But I have thought many times it is such a blessing that Yah doesn't make us deal with every character flaw and behavior all at once, because it would be so much harder to me to deal with that way. Many times I was put in situations to create a new behavior, a way of thinking. And so that's what I just got finished speaking about. And so that's something important to remember, especially for those of you who are around people who are going through a process with something. That's important to remember. So if you're dealing with somebody and they get angry very quickly, then things a lot of times will get worse before it gets better. And most of the time, that's y'all working with them to either, one, see that they have the issue, because it's just like with drugs and alcohol. You have to see that you have the issue, And then admit you have the problem, because you find that if a person never admits they have a problem with alcohol, then they're not going to try to work on it. Well, if a person don't ever admit to themselves that, hey, I have an anger issue, I have a lazy issue, I have a whatever issue that it is, then they won't work on it. And then situations will be happening where Yah is trying to work with them on it, but when they don't recognize it, it makes that whole process longer and harder, because Yah has to deal with them in more and more harsher ways to show them and to force them into a change, that either they change or they have to move on. And this is what I found from just personal experience and from over the years watching with myself and my own family. Many times we are afraid we will be hurt or misused by allowing people time. So a lot of times we don't want to give patience or be patient, because, if I go along, I'm going to be hurt, or so-and-so is just going to be using me and whatever. A lot of times that's why we don't want to be patient with people, because we don't want to be hurt. And that's like a normal feeling. I'm not going to say that's an abnormal feeling. I think most of us have those concerns. But here is the truth on the matter. Yes, sometimes your feelings will be hurt. When you are around people that's working through character flaws, whatever it is, especially depending on what it is, yes, sometime in the process of being patient with people, your feelings will get hurt. It's just a part of the process. Yes, sometimes there may be discomfort for a while. There's no way over or around that. And I'm speaking from my own personal experience. There is no way over or around that. There will be some discomfort as people attempt to grow and change, and as Yah works with them. Okay, it just is what it is. If you're gonna work to apply patience with people, that's whether it's your husband, your children, your father, your whoever it is, whether they related to you, your friend, your associate, whoever it is, somebody in your study group, whoever it is, every moment with them as they go through character change and behavior changes that Yah is working with them on, there's going to be some discomfort. But Yah allows people the opportunity to make changes. Now here's something important to remember. There is a way to be patient with people and still be cautious or move in caution. So I will try to make one of my next videos about patience in people, those tips that the Tanakh and the Apocrypha give, especially in the book of Sirach, as it pertains to this. Because the scripture does have laws and things pertaining to dealing with people, and there's good advice that was left to us too by others. Another important thing to remember: sometimes the results of whether someone will change or not will come quickly, or it can take years. So a person can be in your midst, in your study group or whatever, 3 years before it's shown that, hey, they're not going to change, or hey, they are going to continue to make efforts to change it. They are putting in the work to do it. So the results don't always come in right away, and that in itself takes patience with people. So that's an important something to remember. People come into the Israelite lifestyle for many different reasons. And see, you're not going to know those reasons when people come into your life, when they come to your study group or whatever. You're not going to know that reason right off. Not all the time. Okay? Sometimes it takes time to see. Some people come to actually serve Yah and rebuild their life. Some people come for that reason. That's their foundational reason. Some people come into this way of life because they need help. They see it as a church or whatever. Maybe they'll pay my light bill or whatever it is. Some people come to find husbands. Okay, when it comes to women. Some men come to find a wife or wives, So these things happen. Some people come for a material gain. Maybe they need a car or whatever. If I get in with this God, maybe my financial situation will get better, So people come for all kinds of different reasons. And sometimes it takes a while to know what the true reasons are. Is it coming from a good place, or is it coming from a not so good place? Some start out meaning well sometimes, but find they are unwilling to work to let go of ungodly mindsets and build new ones. And so this happens sometimes also. And sometimes, as I said before, it takes time to know for that to come forth. But Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 30 through 32 speaks about this, that sometimes people mean well. They'll come to Sabbath class or whatever. And then over time, they just, hey, I didn't realize that I was going to have to accept this or that. Or I didn't realize that I was going to have to go through these different changes. It's a little bit more than I wanted to do, So that happens. Ezekiel 33 and 30 through 32 says, "Also thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from Yah. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after their covetousness. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not." And so in Ezekiel, we seeing where that happens. That's not a new thing. Sometimes people are going to come and they're going to sit and listen. They're going to enjoy the music, the Sabbath class. But guess what? When they leave there, they'll live their life however they want to live it, whether that's for Yah or against the word of Yah. And so that's how it is sometimes. When we are patient with others, we allow Yah to work with them, just as he's worked with many of us. So that's something to remember. It takes time sometimes to know whether a person is going to really make changes or not, as I said before. And you have to allow Yah time. And when you allow Yah time to work with people, and it meaning allowing Yah time, he's creating situations, giving the person time to come to Sabbath class or Bible study and learn, giving them that opportunity. And giving them that opportunity, it really means that you creating a environment conducive to that. That means you're not getting an attitude, you're welcoming, and these types of things. That doesn't mean if an issue comes up, you don't speak to them about it. That doesn't mean that. But you're doing that in the right mindset, in the right way. Or you're allowing the ministry to do that, and creating a supportive environment to support what's right, as well as supporting the person's change. It helps us when we're patient with others. It also helps us to be just in our actions and judgments. And remember, now judgment is really, when we use that word a lot of times, we're talking about a decision. So we want to be just in our decisions concerning others. As sisters, mothers, wives, we make judgments every day concerning our children, each other, our men. We make choices every day. Sisters decide whether they're going to stay with a brother and stay married to him, or they decide they're going to divorce him. Some decisions we make, the effects of them are lifelong. You can't like change the effects of it. Even if you go back and correct it, you can't change the effects of it. You might make a decision toward a child, toward a brother or your little sister or your big sister or whatever. And it's so important that we slow down, think before we, say things or do things toward people, whether they're close to us or whether they're not, whether it's a relative, whether it's a stranger, whether it's a friend, whether it's a associate or whoever. We want to be just in our action toward others. And a lot of times that takes patience, because sometimes you need to wait and see what the law says. What would Yah want to have done? It's like when the man was picking up sticks on the Sabbath day. They didn't know what to do. So they went to ask what Yah wanted done. That took patience, So when you're living for Yah, it's less about reacting and more about patience and thinking, because you want to be right according to the Creator. Even when something goes wrong, there is a way to handle it righteously according to Yah. And there's examples of that in the scripture. And that's what's important. Because Yah is going to support righteousness. Okay. If something is happening to you that's wrong, and then you in turn handle it wrong, and then there's going to be an issue still with you and the Creator a lot of times. And I found that over the years with people, that something sometimes actually was wrong that was happening, or that was a situation with them, but then how they handled it was a sin against Yah. And so then you out of line with Yah, and He can't support you like that. And so we don't want ourselves to be in that position. Leviticus 19:15 says, "Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor." And so it's so important to Yah that we are just. And in Zechariah 8, verse 16 through 17, it says, "These are the things that ye shall do. Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor. And love no false oath. For all these are things that I hate, saith Yah." So it says execute the judgment of truth. And so Yah wants us to be just toward one another. Some quick thoughts. Number one, hate unrighteousness in others. Don't hate the person. Leviticus 19, verse 17 to 18 says, "Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart." And we can also say sister in that too. "Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor." Go and talk to the person. Go correct them if need be. "And not suffer sin upon him." That allows the person to change the wrong behavior. "Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yah." Remember that quick-temperedness works against patience and righteous judgments. If you're quick-tempered, then a lot of times when we're quick-tempered, we're not thinking in a way that's helpful to us, or that's helpful to someone else. And a lot of times when we quick-temper, we just react. We react through what we say, and we react through what we actually end up doing. And a lot of times what you find, you end up doing things you regret, making decisions you regret, and that's not good. And a lot of times, honestly, you end up sinning against the Creator. And when we sin against the Creator, then He cannot support that action. And He can't support us in that action. We want to have the Creator's support. But the Creator does not support unrighteousness. So it's for us to work on that. And then He wants to support us. That's one thing that's evident. That's the whole point of the second chance, for the allowing to repent, for Him being willing to forgive us. He wants to do it. But when we consistent and insist on doing things in the wrong way, then He can't do that. He has to deal with things as they are. So we want to deal with quick temperedness. We want to work through what's right, the correct thinking, and not through the wrong thinking. We want to let patience play its part, so we can so it gives Yah the opportunity to show what the answers are, what the correct answers are, and for us to perform according to that. Lastly, I wanted to read Ezekiel verse 7 through 9. And it says, "Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger rested in the bosom of fools." So in Ecclesiastes, I'm not sure if that's what I said, Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 9. Okay, it encourages us, don't be quick to get angry. Because when we quick to get angry, we don't think properly. And then when we're not thinking properly, we won't judge or make the right decisions most of the time. And so I hope this video was helpful. I will try to do another one, like I said, with practical tips, how to be patient with people, proceeding with caution, moving in caution. Okay, so I'll try to get that done. So hopefully it'll be practical ways that you can understand how to move forward with people, with bringing less hurt to yourself. you know. Thank you for your time. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that by emailing me at yascornerstone@gmail.com. yascornerstone@gmail.com. You're welcome to leave comments or questions at the bottom of this video concerning anything you've heard me say. You can follow me on Instagram. On Instagram, it's the same as the YouTube channel, Supporting Yah's Cornerstone. You can also follow the Supporting Yah's Cornerstone Facebook page, and it's also named the same thing, Supporting Yah's Cornerstone. Thank you for your time. Shalom, shalom.